Hey, Iostox here. I have worked with the New York Excelsior and the Boston Uprising Academy team, and I have over 2 years of private and professional coaching experience. Today I'm going to answer some of the questions that you guys posted in my Discord in the hashtag AskStoxAnything channel. If you want to ask your own questions, join the Discord, ping me in that channel. I'll get back to you right away. In over a year of answering these questions, I haven't failed to answer a single one yet. First question is by Turif15. He asks, if I'm having a bad aim day, should I just change my hero and play something that doesn't require much aim? Or should I stick with that aim-based character, a Widowmaker, and try to win the game somehow? I hate my inconsistent aim. Now the answer is going to seem a little straightforward, and I don't mean to make you feel dumb, but you might feel a little, over the head after this one. Do you think that not aiming is the best way to get better at aiming? The answer is obviously no. If you're aiming poorly on a character, then switching to another character is only going to avoid the issue. The only way you can get better at aiming with Widowmaker is by actually aiming as Widowmaker. The important thing to realize is that you can't really get better without being bad first, right? So if you are just avoiding the issue and you're always swapping characters and you're switching roles because you're just not good at something, or you're giving up on the game and you're playing something else entirely, you won't ever really get good at anything, which isn't the right mindset to have. It's also important to address consistency, because that is a big mental gap that a lot of players are struggling with. Consistency is not real. You cannot be purely consistent from a mechanical standpoint. From a decision-making standpoint, you can come incredibly consistent to a point where you can make the right decision 99.9% of the time. But in terms of aim, there's a limit. You can only, get so high, right? So if you are inconsistent, don't think that something is wrong with your aim or that that's an issue that you need to fix. It's just something you have to accept. And you need to rely on your decision making and your game knowledge and your smart decisions instead of your aim. Inconsistency with aiming doesn't really become noticeable outside of Widow versus Widow metas, or with players that rely on their aim as a crutch to climb rather than actually understanding how the game works. Next question is by Cake, and he or she asks, I'm the current head coach for my university Overwatch team. I'm a high plat, low diamond. I feel I have a good knowledge of the game, but I need to gain more skills. How do I become a good coach of a team who will likely be diamond or master? What are some things I can do to improve my coaching game? The first piece of advice is just general literature. So very old pieces like Sun Tzu's The Art of War can give you some inspirations for strategy, although it's obviously very niche, but it's a fun read, right? Or you can watch we'll get there. Literature by actual coaches. So for example, I think he's called John Wooden. He has some very, very reputable and very highly praised books on his coaching philosophies and how he approaches the subject. So looking at that literature, looking to learn from experienced coaches from other disciplines like football or baseball is a very, very good idea, because while the gameplay in of itself is different, the fundamental concepts as a head coach are the same. You're head coaching a team. You're trying to turn 6 players into one team. That is your job, right? And whether you're turning, a team of 11 soccer players into a team or a team of 6 Overwatch players into a team, the differences are there, but they're mostly age-related rather than, the difference in the games. Also, don't hesitate reaching out to coaches. Send me a DM if you have a question, or to try and join different coaching communities, or reach out to coaches on Twitter and ask them your questions. Sure, some of them are busy and they're not going to respond to you, but if you send the message to a few people, and again, assuming it's an interesting question that you can't just answer by Googling, chances are they're going to get back. Maybe just a few sentences, maybe they're going to send you a wall of text, but try to communicate with other coaches, try to network and try to kind of exchange ideas. You shouldn't just blindly copy what they're doing, but you should use their perspective to broaden your understanding of how coaching actually works, and then you can use that to make smarter decisions as a coach moving forward. Also, this should be self-explanatory. Practice, practice, practice. Do VOD reviews, do one-on-ones, watch the Overwatch League, go into the replay viewer, do analysis. That's how you can improve your understanding of the game. So with coaching, there's always the understanding side, actually knowing what you're talking about, and also the actual coaching side, where you're trying to focus more on the soft skills, interpersonal skills, leadership abilities, that sort of stuff. You need to focus on both sides at the same time. They're equally important. Actually, sometimes the priorities shift a little based on your team's needs, but it's important that you don't just focus on becoming the smartest coach, but you also don't want to become, your team's cheerleader without actually knowing what you're talking about. And then the last question, this should be familiar to some of you who have watched my recent video on the Our Overwatch University post about AIM by Enchanto. I'm a 4.2K Ana main playing with a 60Hz monitor. Would I notice a big difference in my plays, mainly my mechanics? If I get a 144Hz monitor, would it be worth it to get one, and would I play better because of it? Would it make a big difference? No. Anyone telling you that it is going to make a big difference in terms of how well you actually play, doesn't know what they're talking about, is going to feel like a big difference? Yes. 60Hz, 144Hz, night and day. It's very difficult to actually go back. But in terms of gameplay, I would have a very tough time differentiating the gameplay from someone who plays on a 60Hz monitor to the gameplay someone on a 144Hz monitor. I think that's very, very difficult to tell the difference. The main advantages of 144Hz monitors is that you're suffering from less eye fatigue and that they're overall more comfortable. You're just getting more information, it's easier to kind of develop situational awareness, which can be very helpful, although again, situational awareness is rarely an issue at ratings that high. And it's by no means necessary. So yes, it's going to feel very nice. You're going to enjoy it a lot. It's a great investment, in my opinion, for people who spend a lot of time. And in general, investing money into monitors is always a good idea because that's essentially the thing you're going to be staring at all day, right? If you're spending money on like getting a mouse or getting a keyboard or something, you're only going to use that while you're playing, like seriously. Outside of that, you're not really going to be able to tell the difference between like a gaming mouse and a regular old mouse. But a monitor is really something like monitors and chairs. Like those are very, very solid investments, in my opinion. And the 144Hz monitors are getting fairly cheap right now, actually, right? So if you're at the rating, if you're serious about the game, sure, go for it. That said, either you can aim or you can't aim. Is it going to make a difference in your aim? Maybe. The question isn't whether it'll make your aim better, but whether it'll make it noticeably better. The difference most likely is going to be very negligible. You're already at 4.2K. It's going to feel a lot nicer, it's going to look a lot nicer, but if your aim is actually going to become noticeably better, I can't say. It really depends on how much you rely on your decision making and your game knowledge right now compared to how good your mechanics are. And again, whether it's actually worth it for you, just depends on your budget and how much time you spend into the game, right? So if you're playing 8 hours a day and you plan on using this 144Hz monitor for a long time and you have the amount of disposable income to afford one of those monitors, go for it. I think it's could be a very, very good investment. But if you're short on cash, maybe you're a college student, maybe you're not actually playing that much anymore, maybe after reaching 4.2K you kind of start playing a bit more casually, then your money is probably better spent elsewhere. But that's a decision that I can't make for you. You need to look at your financial situation and how much time you put into the game, and then based on that you can make a decision on whether you want to go for a 144Hz monitor or if you want to stick with your current 60Hz monitor. Again, your 60Hz monitor isn't really, it's not like it's holding you back, right? There are professional players that ended up getting salaried on a 60Hz monitor. There even used to be a time where 60Hz was really the best that we got. There used to be a time where Counter-Strike players overclocked their monitors to 74Hz, right? And now we have double that. So it's crazy how times change. And yeah, you can definitely perform very, very well on 60Hz monitor. 144Hz not necessary, but again, very nice. If you have the money, go for it. Right, does it for all the questions. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon in order to receive notifications on all new videos. I try to upload every 2 days, maybe 3, it depends on how busy I am. Also make sure to join the Discord in case you want to ask your own questions, and follow me on Twitter. The link for that is on the description. My name is Ernst. I have something in my eye, and I'd like to thank you for learning.